Hello Internet, my name's Will Potter and you're watching NoobTube. Normally you would see me on camera saying this, but I've got an eye infection, so I'm hiding behind this picture of a bodybuilding Snorlax. Earlier this week I was invited along to Google's YouTube studios in London to check out some new and upcoming games from Sony. First on the list was sci-fi platformer and shoot 'em up Velocity 2X, which is coming to PlayStation 4 and PS Vita in 2014. I sat down with James Marsden from developer Futurlab to talk about his upcoming game. I'll start off with the most obvious question. What is Velocity 2X?
Okay, so it's a sequel to the first game, Velocity, and the HD version, Velocity Ultra, on Vita and PS3. Velocity is a top-down shoot 'em up, which introduces a bunch of new mechanics that are new to the genre, such as being able to control the speed of the scrolling screen. So we've turned it into a bit of a racing game. You've got teleportation, which allows you to hop across terrain to anywhere on the screen you feel like going, to avoid enemies and to collect survivors that are stranded in these remote areas of space. And there are puzzles to solve. So it's taking three different aspects and putting them together into a recipe that surprised a few people, because they thought that genre was a bit dead. I thought that genre was a bit dead. I wasn't really enjoying the way that bullet hell shooters were going, because it's quite one-dimensional, you're just dodging bullets. And I thought, we could do something a bit different. And that was surprisingly successful. And Sony noticed that game and have asked us to put together a sequel. So Velocity 2X takes everything that worked in the first game nicely, all the teleportation and speedrun style gameplay and level designs that choreograph your movement to make you feel cool with rhythm, and applies it to a side-scrolling platformer at the same time. So you can fly around in your spaceship, teleport around, pick up survivors, fling bombs, do all the stuff that you could do in the first game, but then you'll come across a laser field that you can't get past and a dock, and you can dock your ship, and then suddenly, instantly, you're on foot. And all of the mechanics that were available to you in your ship are also available to you on foot, so you can teleport through walls, you can fling telepods to hard to reach areas and teleport to it instantly. You can 360 shoot, there are enemies that you have to teledash through to disable their shields. So there's lots of cool mechanics in there.
The game has a really great art style, very unique, and I can see elements of like older games. Maybe you've had influence from those games, maybe like a Metroid or like classic shooters like R-Type. Would you say those are influences, or are there any other influences to your game?
The two main influences in terms of the art style, Flashback, and the influence for the gameplay is Turrican 2 on the Amiga, which is the game I grew up on. Right. I used to visit my friend's house who had an Amiga. I didn't have an Amiga, and I used to go to his house, play on Turrican 2, and the music in that first level has just inspired me throughout my whole life, really. So I'm involved in the music as well for Velocity, and we've taken that kind of sound and that chip-tuning Amiga style sound and just recreated the feel of that, the kind of uplifting 80s vibe, but with modern production value.
Velocity 2X is shaping up to be a promising title, with solid gameplay, a bold and clean art style, as well as a positively catchy soundtrack, so keep your eyes peeled for this game in 2014. Anyway, that's enough about Sony for just a moment, as we know there is another next-gen contender. In the other side of the ring, it's Microsoft's Xbox One, and NoobFeed's own David Birch has posted his experiences with the big black box after picking one up at the midnight launch. He has been spending some quality time with Forza 5, Battlefield 4 and NBA 2K14, so be sure to head over to NoobFeed.com to read more about his initial impressions. November was a truly mad month for game releases, with some incredible titles hitting all platforms. Over at NoobFeed.com, we kicked off our next-gen reviews with Killzone Shadowfall, the PlayStation 4 exclusive first-person shooty gun game from Guerrilla Games that is boasting some of the best graphics seen so far on the system. Check out the link in the description below for Adam's review. Spoiler, it's quite good. That's all we have time for on this episode of NoobTube. I've got some more videos coming soon from my day at Sony, with exclusive interviews and gameplay footage of Tearaway and Lemmings Touch for PS Vita. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and head on over to NoobFeed.com for updates. Thanks for watching, and remember,